Okay, so for anybody who hasn't been to a Tony Robbins event, there is a ton of dancing and jumping up and down and changing your state, right? Like you have to have a strong state. And when you're in this like strong state, it kind of like boosts your confidence, boosts your mood. It like helps you get empowered to make decisions, to make moves, to take action. And so it feels really great. And then you like start doing momentum things that also feel great. So it's just like a great feeling. So it was just like jumping, 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 dancing, dancing, dancing. Don Malare is here. Does everybody know his background with Tony Robbins? Do you want to just share real quick? Because he has a really cool job.
Do you want me to share or you want to talk about it? I don't care either way.
Oh, share a little bit about it and then I'll hype you up.
Okay, sure. So for 4 years, I was the one on stage at every Tony Robbins event, getting people up and moving and getting the energy up. And like Emily was just saying, every Tony Robbins event, part of what he does is to get people up and moving because when we move our body, we increase
Mhm.
circulation, and that increases endorphins, which are the happy hormones, and then we get dopamine and serotonin. And when we're together with a group, we also get the oxytocin, which is a feeling in community, and all of that contributes to a positive learning environment. Because we remember when we learn having fun.
Yay! Thank you so much. Yeah. And anytime the dancers came on, Damilare, I thought of you. By the way, I was like, I better make him proud. Like I gotta do it. I gotta move. I gotta groove. And it was so fun. And I've done that. I've done that in my academy when we've played games and stuff with scary things, even just like objection handling. People feel really good. Imagine feeling really good objection handling. Like, it's like, so imagine planning your business or like what you're going to do for the day or going into a sales conversation or going into a coaching conversation and getting into the right energy, getting into the right state, and then just crushing it because you're just elevated. So it's awesome. So I wanted to start us off with taking care of business because this is the Business Mastery Celebration Call. Holy moly. I went on a journey, you guys. It was, let me see. I was like, what am I getting into? Is it going to be all numbers? Is it going to be all mindset? What's all this? What are we going to walk away with? And it was just better than I could have ever expected. It keeps you engaged. It keeps you going. You do talk about number. Guess what, you guys? You talk about numbers. You talk about like accounting and taxes and you're jumping up and down and you're like taxes. Like, project my margins. Like what? And it's just a wild experience. And so on top of all of that, there was mindset stuff, there was talk about psychology, there was talk about business in the future, talk about being, in the age that we're in, which is, AI and all this technological advancement, and how do you leverage that for your business? Uh, yes, I love numbers and numbers love me. And we were like, I love charts and charts love me. And it was just like this whole thing. So I want to say that in my sales mastery program too, is like, I love sales and sales loves me. Yeah, there we go. I love cash and cash sets me free. I love that. I love that. So I was like, okay, I love going to these things and then coming back and sharing gold nuggets with everybody who wants to hear them because I'm always like jazzed and pumped. And so that's what I thought today could be. And I've got like some thought questions for you guys as like where you are right now, where you want to go. And so we'll do a little bit of engagement that way too. But are you ready to hop into it? I've got I've got 10 key takeaways that I'm going to be sharing with you guys that will get you thinking and in a different headspace about where your business is now, where you are at right now, and where you want to go and where you want to take it. It's August 20th. And so we have how many months of the year 2025 left to make as much impact and as much income and create as much vision as our heart's desire? 4 months, Sarah says. 4 months. 4 months. That's like a whole quarter and plus. That's great. Great news. So it's like, how do we utilize the tools that we have very close to us? How do we save time with some of the like tedious tasks? How do we really meet our clients where they're at? Enter the conversations in their head, pull them forward, add value, get visible. We'll talk about all that kind of stuff today. But without further ado, if you guys are ready, just give me a thumbs up or a pump up or some sort of energy thing so we can get going. Hey, Jean Green's coming into the room. So let's dance for Jean because she's coming into the room. Jean, we're dancing for you because you're coming into the
Let
room.
me go grab my exerciser that Tony had me buy and go bounce around.
Oh, the rebounder.
I got one of those. I bought one.
Hey. I love it. Okay. So the first takeaway, like one of the first things, like he spends like a whole day around mindset and psychology of it was fascinating, but it makes so much sense. And actually, now that I've been out of business mastery, I was in a all-day workshop in a 25K. It's Eileen Wilder's group, and I was like running breakout rooms, and it's like the psychology stuff is showing up there. And then I'm running like challenge office hours in Stacy Lauren's group, and the psychology stuff is there. And then I'm talking to just my buddies on mastermind calls, and the psychology is there. So it's like, it's so interesting. And so we spent a whole day, well, throughout the entire event, but really a whole day seeing that psychology matters and that failure matters, right? Like learning fast and failing fast. So this is the first takeaway. Learning requires failure. So when you fail fast, you learn so much faster. And one of the things that I heard Tony say that I had posted to my Facebook group was that knowledge isn't power. Implementation is the power. So if you learn, we could, how many of us know we could spend all day, every day learning with there still being enough learning to learn and that we'll never learn all of it. And we could literally go in circles for years and years and years just learning all the things. But is that going to get us what we want? Yes or no? No. How many of you have learned something, Spanish, high school Spanish for me, minus maybe 10 words? How many of us have learned something and completely forgot about it? Right. So if we spend all our time learning about how to have a business, learning, like for me, it's like learning how to have sales conversations, learning how to dream lift for mayor, or learning about how to step into a stronger identity for some of you guys, but you don't actually take the time to implement it and to make the decisions to put yourself in action, to apply it to you, apply it to your business, then that learning holds really no power. You could probably talk about it. You could share information with people, but unless you implement that information and get it working for you, that's not the sauce. The sauce is that learning requires failure is the first takeaway. So when you fail fast, you know where you need to pivot, you know what you need to try next time, you know what worked, you know what didn't work. Can we also say that learning and failing fast also builds our confidence? How many of us know that the more you do something, right? Tie your shoes, learn to drive, maybe you are really great and fluent in Spanish, not me. But maybe you decided you were going to apply what you learned in high school Spanish too, and then you start talking and now you're really good at it, you know? When you start to apply those things and make the decision to implement them into your everyday practice, even when you go to the gym, right? You're building up that muscle every time you utilize that new skill or put into application that information that you learn. You're building the reps, you're building the confidence, and you know how to, oh, I can't lift it this way because that'll hurt me. I gotta lift it, here's my form, and now you're lifting triple the weights and you're like buff and I guess happy. I don't know. Anyway, so number one takeaway was learning requires failure. Ready for the second one? The second one was and this is where like that psychology also comes in because there's so much to this. Okay, I'm getting excited. The number one thing that you can do for your business is to master your psychology. He said that most stucks and most chokeholds on any given business is the limit and the psychology of the leader or the person in charge. So, and it was wild, you guys. This was my favorite part about it, is that then we spent, I don't know, however many hours, where people would stand up and share the chokehold on their business. So they would say, like one guy was like, I need to hire 60 sales reps and nobody wants this job or selling solar door to door. I don't know where to find them. I can't find them, right? So he has this limitation, this thing that he's stuck up against that is a chokehold on his business. I need to get 60 sales reps. And because Tony was able to like maneuver around and show him a back door and give him a strong enough reason for moving past that limitation and moving past that fear, he was like, well, what if I were to say something's gonna, well, this was extreme, but sometimes he uses extreme examples to shift our mindsets, right? Like, what if something was gonna happen to your fiance? Would you do whatever it took to go find the 60 reps then? Right? And he was like, heck yeah, I would, because it was a strong enough reason for him to start thinking outside the box and getting out of his own way to be able to problem solve that. How many, I know I've done it in just like everyday life, being a mom or a spouse or just my back in the day job or even this business. How many of us like feel that there's maybe some limitations where we've been able to push past them? Maybe it was even a deadline. Think back to a time you ever had like a deadline and you had like 2 months to get there. And you're like, I'll get there. I'll do it. I'll do it. And you don't do it and don't do it and you don't do it. And it's in the 11th hour, night before, midnight before the event. And you're like, because the pain of not being prepared and not doing what you need to do to show up for the event now outweighs the pain of doing what you need to do to prepare. Isn't that crazy? So over and over and over and over and over again, these people would stand up and Tony or the crew would be like, what's the chokehold on your business? And whether it was hiring somebody, firing somebody, maybe it was a numbers thing, an accounting thing. Maybe they reached capacity. Maybe it was like, a real estate thing. I only have this capacity. And so I'm at 95%. I can't buy more properties and da 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 da. They would shift their thought on the limitation, their belief in the fact that it actually wasn't about this problem. It was about what they were believing about the problem and what they were pretending not to know or not to see. So there was like this level of awareness. And number two, just for anybody who's jumped on, number one was learning requires failure for the takeaways. Number two was the number one thing you need to do for your business is master your psychology. It was fascinating. So yeah, and Mare, she does this. She just had this there. I saw it come up, was what are you pretending not to know? And so her way of asking it is like, what are you pretending not to know about your dream and moving your dream forward? Right? And they asked the same question. They asked the same questions in business. That's like a cheater question. Write that down. Write that question down. If you get stuck, ask yourself, what am I pretending not to know? I'm pretending not to know that I can ask this person for help to find the tools. I'm pretending not to know that I just need to learn this platform real quick. It might not even take that long to, I don't know, launch a landing page or something like that. I'm pretending not to know that all I have to do is reach out to 10 people a day for a couple weeks, and at least one person's bound to want to jump on a sales call with me because they need the help, right? So there's things we can leverage. He also said that entrepreneurs, and I loved this way of framing it. He said entrepreneurs are in it for the risks and the reward. And I think a lot of the times we can think of our businesses and get bogged down with like, are we doing enough? I'm not feeling the reward, or I'm always chasing this reward, and but we're not willing to do the risky stuff, the things that make us scared, the things that step us outside of our comfort zone to get the reward, right? And so being an entrepreneur is kind of like a balancing game, right? We gotta balance some risk with some reward. We gotta step outside our comfort zone and be called higher. And this was cool. So remember that guy I was just talking about? He was the guy who said, I need to get 60 reps, sales reps to do solar. Okay. And then Tony took him through this whole breakthrough where it was figuring out. Then he gave them this extreme circumstance, right? Well, I'll give you this extreme reason. Something might happen to your fiance if you don't get 60 sales reps. Now, what do you do? Now, how do you show up with that kind of a reason? And so they did this demonstration where this guy was like, okay, name who you are right now when you're scared, when you're coming up against that limitation, when you're finding excuses to why you can't do the thing, versus the version of you who's going to go like, find the reps, save your fiance, make things happen, and be the person that saves the day. And it was like these two different versions of him, right? And they gave him names. This one was Swig Daddy. This one was probably not a word I can repeat in my community, but he was like, okay, well, this guy, he was like, rah, and then now he's all pumped up, and now he's ready to like run his business and find these 60 reps, and he's like screaming in the microphone, and everybody's hype and like high-fiving him, and it's like goes back to that state. Like, what state are you in, and what identity are you allowing to run your business? Is it the version of you who is like the scared 7-year-old girl going into a new, like, this is mine, right? Like, am I a scared, timid 7-year-old girl going into a new school, having to make new friends? Do I put myself out there? Do I not put myself out here? Maybe I'll just sit over here and just hide a little bit and I won't, like, or is it like, I need to go teach people heart-led sales so that they can go make more mission and impact in the world and change their lives and the people's lives that they're called to serve? And if I don't do that, I'm actually hurting people and harming people, not only myself, right? And not only my family, because now I'm not making income. I'm not doing the vision that I had planned and set out to do. But it's like, how many people am I hurting by not showing up as a stronger version of myself? So I wanted to ask, just for you guys to take a second and think about what up until now for 2025, or for the time you've been running your business, what version of you, what identity have you been allowing to step inside the driver's bus when it comes to a hard decision, or when it comes to a hard conversation, or when it comes to doing the thing you don't want to do, but you know you got to do? so that you can bring in some more income and some more clients so you could change more lives. So what identity is running the business right now, and what identity do you want to start adopting or pivoting to take hold of that and go save the day for their people? So I just want to give you like a minute to start kind of like thinking through that. And I'd love to hear shares if anybody is like brave and wants to, because now you're like, I'm a brave version of myself who comes up and just shares. And I'll share with you guys what I came up with too. Yeah. I'm just looking through the chat real quick. Sorry guys, I've been ignoring it.
No, somebody asked us to type up your number 1 and 2, and so a lot of it is just recapping. But your friend is an awesome note taker.
Yay! I'm Larry for the win.
He puts to words what I scratched down, but better.
I love notes and notes love me.
Yeah, I've been afraid. I've been afraid of stepping out, because
Yeah.
then someone will think my baby's ugly. And then the thing that I've been working on for years, ever since I met Stacy, if somebody says it's ugly, then so I kept her safe so that she won't get hurt.
Yeah. Who do you want to be? Like, what version do you want to be
Yeah,
showing off your baby?
the Shira, what Tony taught us at UPW, and like
Yeah.
I did UPW like 4 times, so much I
So good.
actually paid for my best friend to go because he had the BOGO one time, and bought her the room and everything, and just said show up, and I just picked her up, and a year later she dumped her husband and is so much better. So, but yeah, that my make your move, before I would have to pitch. I literally had to pitch a 3-star general, and you usually have 30 days to prepare. The hot spots, what to say, what not to say, his family. I had 30 minutes, and I just channeled Tony Robbins because I had to do it.
Wow.
I had to text my people and say, meet me at the office in 20 minutes. We're briefing Brigadier General Taylor was his name. And I just made my move, and I walked in and I was like, let's go. Yeah, I'm Nicole Johnson. This is my team. We're here to show you what we did with supply chain integration. And he was just like blown away with the energy, and then asked me a really hard question. And I didn't know the answer, but I was able, because he liked my energy, I was able to talk around it and not look like stupid. So I have to figure out how to channel that, come to the wire with this, or I have no deadline.
I love that. Okay. Anybody else want to share their like the identities, maybe like who you've been up until now and who you want to be going forward? Mare.
Yeah, I used to be held hostage to I don't know how. And now I ask for help. Coaches need coaches.
So good. I love that. And you found like instead of saying this, I could just ask for help. I could just get a coach. And they know all the things about this thing. I love that. I love that.
I
I
have
had,
more than one coach though, Emily, because
yes,
it's not coaches need
different pieces.
coaches because we're multifaceted. So there isn't just one coach that's going to help you figure out all of the pieces. Get the experts in the different areas where you need muscles built, and you give your expertise to in exchange or return.
Yes, so good. Sophia,
Hello. Sorry I'm late, guys.
what's up, girl?
Yes. Awesome. For me, and this was just at a recent workshop. I don't know if you were on that workshop. Pride. Pride is something a lot of us, and that kind of piggybacks off of what the other gal who just spoke, asking questions. I know that was mine, and because especially as like independent women, right?
Right.
And we already know, and we're usually pretty good about multitasking and asking for help in different areas. I know for me, even just asking a question sometimes, because you feel like, oh, I should know this. Or there's Google and AI stuff now that we can lean on, right? But it's still
Yeah.
different to ask an actual human being where they can speak on it versus just Googling it or using AI for an answer. So now I'm getting better.
Yay.
I'm getting better, which is why I'm here.
Yeah, I love the idea of like, you don't have to stay stuck. You don't have to be drowning. You don't have to be multitasking 20 things at one time every given 5 minutes. Like, you could ask for help and then like imagine what that version of you is capable of because now you've freed up all this time and this mind space to do what you really love. I love that. I love that. We'll take Christina and then we'll move on.
For a long time, I was going into details, like
Yeah.
Maya mentioned. How do I do it? Now I have reframed it. I've done it a few years now. So when I'm speaking to myself, I'm saying, how can I do it? Different
Yeah.
way. How can I do it? So if I have a time for it, yeah, and I'm mama for small kids. So when people said, you can't do it, no, how can I do it? Who can I connect with? Can I make a smaller version of it and then implement? So it's agile thinking from work. So how can I make it done?
I love that. There was this moment he talked about things that can hold people back, like distractions, uh, the how. He called it the tyranny of how. I like to say, what can I do? What can I control? What can I contribute? What can I add value to? So I love that, Christina. Great. Um, cool, cool, cool. All right, let's move on because I was like, oh, geez, I'm already halfway through and I'm only on number 2. This one's really cool, you guys. And I think like we've heard it, but to just hear it again or to hear it structured this way is really cool. So the number 3 is that you need 2 things in business to be in business and to stay in business. So to stay and be in business, you need 2 things. And those 2 things are innovation and marketing. Innovation and marketing. So innovation is finding a better way to meet your clients' needs. And then how can you meet their needs better than any of your competitors or different than any of your competitors? And there's power in who you are, in how you talk about your thing, in how you move people into action that is a differentiator from your competitors. So it could be that there's innovation in just you coming out from hiding and showing up to help the people that you're meant to help in whatever that thing is. Because I think a lot of people get caught up on, oh, this is, very saturated space and how do I stand out? And it's like you being you and you showing up as you is one of the ways you can do that. Nobody else can be you and talk about the things that you talk about and the way you talk about them from all your experiences and all your things bottled up into that. So just think that that's a place to start from. Yeah. And then 2 was marketing, which is what makes people want to do business with you. I've been getting this question, I kid you not, daily. How do you and I'm like, I don't know, I gotta like crack the code. Except I feel like I have cracked the code in a way. What makes people want to do business with you? What makes people want to engage with your posts? What makes people want to be in your space, right? In your orbit. And we talked specifically about, and you guys probably have heard this, value added marketing. We had a guest speaker. His name was David Merman Scott, and he said that 85% of the stuff you put out in the world, like marketing wise, content wise, 85% should be value added marketing. You should be sharing tips. You should be sharing something that just improves somebody's mood, improves their life, improves what they're trying to do, keeps them from pain, right? Value added marketing. So what makes people want to do business with you? And not only did we have Tony talk about it, and David Merman Scott talk about it, and Dean Graziosi talk about it, and Keith Cunningham talk about it, and all these other people, every speaker spoke about adding value in the marketplace. So what they did say, and here's a thing to steer away from, and one of the things you can look at your business after we jump off, or even think about it now, is look at your marketing and he says that the mistake people make is most companies, this is a way to innovate and set yourself apart. Most companies, 100% of their pie is promotion, 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 promotion. And they're not adding value. And people don't even, at one point or another, people are like, I don't even know your name. Like, I don't even know, you know? All I know is that you just keep like wanting me to buy your thing, but there is no relationship there. So how can you build value? How can you build relationship through that value? Something to think about. Okay, this one's really, really cool. It really relates to sales. It can really relate to your innovation and your marketing and everything else that we've talked to up until this point. Nobody buys a product. You want to know what they buy? Any guesses? What do people buy? No,
You.
Kamalar is going to shout.
They buy you.
Okay, so Sophia says they buy you. Let's see, I
And
see
the
solution,
solution you can
identity,
provide.
feeling, transformation in the chat. Okay, Tony said, nobody buys a product. They buy emotion and identity. And then he did this demonstration. He said, all the ladies in the room, hold up your purses. And you've got the ladies who are holding up like Louis Vuitton. And you've got ladies holding up like in this particular instance, there was a lady with a metallic bag that she liked because it was shiny and it made her happy. And then he talked to the two women about who they were, right? And so the one was like, I landed this really big deal. I wanted to celebrate myself. And that's why I bought myself this like $1,200 Louis Vuitton bag. And that's her identity, right? Like I did this thing and I earned this thing and this is a part of me. It's like a prestige. It's a success, a significance, right, to her. The other one, so he was like, would you trade for this metallic shiny bag? And she was like, absolutely not. No offense, but absolutely not. And it's like, why? It's because that's not her identity. Her identity is in the Louis Vuitton, in the value of it represents her identity. It represents what she's worked hard for, and that's how she sees it, right? And the other girl, the metallic shiny bag, she's like, I saw it on the shelf. It seemed like a practical size. It was shiny and it made me happy. And they were like, well, who are you as a person? And she's like, I'm pretty bubbly, I'm pretty shiny, and I'm pretty happy. So we buy our identities. Brilliant. Brilliant, right? And then you think about the things you've bought. I love me a gift, like a practical gift. Something that I can like go use. Like one year my stepmom got me a new can opener because my can opener was like it was trash, okay? It was not opening cans in the best way. And she bought me a can opener and I was like, "Yes!" Because it got the job done and I could stop struggling. Like it completely added value. So what I want you to think about on this one will take a little bit of time. What's the identity that your client, your ideal client wants? Or the emotions, right? What are the emotions they're looking to adopt? And what's the identity they're aligned with, that they're wanting for themselves? For me, people that I attract want to become better at sales. They know that they need to align with having heart-led conversations. They need to find a way to do sales that feels good for them, because sales is the lifeblood of their business. It's how they create more income. It's how they create more impact in the world. So it's like the identity of being a non-sleazy salesperson, and instead being a heart-led leader who leads and moves people into action through influence. Like, though, that's the identity people can adopt through what I do. And they want to be happy. I bought me a nice quality vacuum and hair curler. Yes, I love that. Does anybody want to share the identity that they think their client is looking for, looking to buy, looking to resonate with, looking to align with? Christina!
My focus is on how people use their time. And one thing I never try to, let's say the word sell people, is here you use this planner, here you do this tool, this time blocking. I sell the results. How about the time you can use? If you got, like so many people say, if you had 10 more hours, what would you use it on? So think about that, and not just, here is a tool, use it.
Yes. That's a lot about what I talk about in oh, somebody's coming back into the room. I talk a lot about that in like the party I do about conveying value. What's the thing beyond the thing that they want? Because people will be like, they want this can opener. It's not the can opener. It's what the can opener can provide. Like, ease, time saving, opening the can that feeds my family. I love that.
Or maybe we use Tony's 7 whys. You know, why do you want the can opener? So that I can feed my family. Why do you want to feed your family? So they'll be healthy. Why do you want them to be healthy? You know, the 7 whys.
Oh yeah, that's a great way to brainstorm it and explore it. Absolutely. Absolutely, you guys. Oh my gosh, I wonder if we're gonna get through all 10. Is this landing? Is this feeling good for everybody? Is this adding value? Okay, head shakes, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Okay, smiles. Good. Okay, good. Let me know if you're like, I'm boring you. Okay, so this was really cool. And I made a post about this because I thought this stood out to me. Tony Robbins said out loud, and I quote, "I believe that life is a dance between what we desire and fear the most." It's a dance between what you desire and what you fear. And you're always kind of getting pulled to like, oh, I want this thing, but I have to do this scary thing. Oh, I want this thing, but I have to avoid this other stuff. And so he said that in order to eliminate fears, you need to have strong enough reasons, right? Like the guy with the sales reps. Earlier I had a challenge office hours that I hold, and we talked a lot about what's the reason, like what's the leverage you're even wanting to host a challenge? What, or what's the reason you even want to be in business? What's the reason you want to do what you do every day, right? And unless the reasons are strong enough, there's going to be times that you waver on them and you maybe prioritize something that doesn't necessarily move you towards your goals. So in order for us to make the most impact we can make in the next 4 months as we go on to a new year is to find some really strong reasons of why we even want to do that in the first place, because that's what it'll come down to. That's what it will hold ourselves to those reasons to those things that inspire us and motivate us into action in order to keep showing up every day, doing the thing, doing the hard thing, making the hard decisions, stepping into the identity that we know needs to be driving the bus for our business. So he said that reasons come first and answers come second. I've been hearing all this a lot about reasons and readiness. And it was like ready is a decision. Ready is a decision. It's not just a feeling that like magically shows up like one day. So people will be like, I'm ready. I'm waiting for when I'm ready. I'm waiting for when I'm ready to have kids. Waiting for when I'm ready to start my business. I'm waiting for when I'm ready to launch my thing. I'm ready. I'm waiting for when I'm ready. I'm waiting to get started. I'm getting ready to start. Myron Golden talks about this thing where he's like, everybody's getting ready. Everybody's getting ready to start that they don't actually ever start. So reasons, when you have strong enough reasons, that's what pushes you to eliminate some of those fears and gets you out of your comfort zone, doing those uncomfortable things so that you can start learning through failure, learning through applying and application. Okay, ready for number 6? We've got 10 minutes. We'll see if we can speed wrap it, but I don't want to like dilute any of it either. Keith Cunningham came on and talked for like 5 hours. And you want to know something really funny? Is that every now and then, to make sure that we are paying attention, he would go, hello? And he must have said hello. Like, that's the takeaway. Just kidding. That's not the takeaway. But he would say hello. And it wouldn't even feel like it was time for him to check if we were paying attention. He would just say something like kind of mind-blowing or kind of like a point, and they'd be, hello? It was just like the funniest thing. But what he said is, what is measured is what gets done. How many of us know that we could maybe be measuring some metrics in our businesses or in our lives a little bit better? This could be, how much time are you spending on your calendar and in your average week on things that move your business forward or income-driven activities versus how many hours are you spending not on your business, right? Like maybe it's for somebody else's business and you're showing up for like 35 hours out of the week for other people, which is beautiful. But in the meantime, your business is suffering because you actually haven't prioritized the time that it takes to plan it and move it forward and go do income driving activities. It could also mean like, are you tracking your leads? Are you tracking your leads that are coming in? What are happening to the leads that are coming in? Are they showing up to the calls? One of the questions I had asked on my form for when people RSVP'd was what part of your sales process is like broken or missing something? It was something like that. And as actually, you know what? It was very fascinating because most people said, I don't know. And you know what that tells me? Is maybe people don't know what a sales process is. And number 2, if you do know what a sales process is, maybe we're not tracking, or maybe you thought the sales process was just the sales call and it's actually so much more than that. So it's fascinating. Oh, we got somebody else coming back to the room. Okay. So what is measured is what gets done. And when you measure something, right, when you track something, how many of you feel like when you're actively tracking something, oh, let me tell you this really cool thing. We have Excel Energy, and I don't know why they're doing this, but they do these energy activation days. And on energy activation days, they say from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m., lower your energy usage. And I do not know why, but I'm like, I'm all in. And when I get the email after energy activation day that says that my goal to limit my energy was only 2.2%, and I saved 33% energy. And I get like, I don't even know what these badges do, but I just get this like recognition of these like badges. That's measuring like energy usage, you guys. And it's like, it's kind of fun to see things go up and down when you're actually measuring it. So can we all agree that what we measure is what we get done, like what we apply and what we drive towards? And if you don't measure it, like out of sight, out of mind is not a safe place to be when you're in business. We're leaking a lot of money that way, a lot of impact. Somebody is like, yeah, really great. Damalara, you're like the fastest typer on the like planet, I think. Okay, number 7. So number 6 was what is measured is what gets done by Keith Cunningham. Number 7 is persistence is key. How many of you have heard that Walt Disney had to go to over 120 banks before he got a yes to build what is now what, Disneyland, Disney World? And how many of you know that the KFC Colonel guy with the white goatee and the thing, he had to get over 1,000, he got 1,009 no's before he could launch his product, the chicken product that he was doing. And then I know we've probably heard like the story of Michael Jordan. Like he wasn't even good at basketball, you guys. Steph Curry, he's on the Golden State Warriors, like one of like they've been a top competitor for a really long time. I don't know how they're doing right now. I feel like they're not as on top as they were, but he's like one of the best or the best 3-point shooter in the league. And I know I'm talking sports right now. It's not typically me. But what the point is that what he does behind closed doors is and I don't have all the metrics, but he shoots like a crazy person. Three throws. I think it's like 500 or something crazy like that a day. All for him to get a smaller percentage when he's live in the game. But that small percentage puts him as the best. So even though he like practices a bajillion times more behind closed doors when nobody is watching, just so he can land a certain percentage of shots in the real game. And he's number 1 for doing that. So like there's this persistence of business, right? It's a spiritual game. Tony says that business is a spiritual game that's always calling you to grow. So there is no there. The journey is the there. And what we do along the journey, how we show up every day, how we practice our driving sales, how we practice holding on to leads, how we practice having conversations, how we practice inspiring people, showing up to our coaching calls. All those things that we put into practice every single day add up. Ooh, that made me think of a fire line that I actually didn't even put in here. This was gold. This was like, okay, Keith Cunningham, remember I told you about him? He said, hello? Keith Cunningham, he said, this line's so good. Ordinary things consistently done for an unordinarily amount of time produce extraordinary results. Does anybody want to translate that for us? Ordinary things consistently done for an unordinarily amount of time produce extraordinary results. I think about like Maren, 30 years of dream lifting. Her ordinary thing, which is like dream lifting, supporting other people, right? Consistently done for an unordinarily amount of time, over 30 years, in groups, not in groups, just showing up to people's stuff, has produced extraordinary results, which is her skill set. Wild. You guys all have that too. What? So, anyway, that's just fascinating. Okay, we've got 3 more. Are you guys hanging with me? If anybody has to jump off, because I know we only have 2 minutes, feel free to jump off. But I'm gonna say these 3 things so you all get the secret sauce, and then we can jam after that. But are you guys doing good? Okay, cool. So number 8 is, what is your client buyer experience? What's your client's buying experience? This was the moment I had actually like put it on pause, and we went and I jumped on a couple calls on Friday, and I came back into the room, and this is exactly what I'm going to be teaching and developing in Sales Mastery for Her Closing Edge. And it's the client buying experience. When they see you, right, you attract them with value added marketing, to how they translate to a lead, how they book a call, how they show up to the call, how they convert to a client, how they get welcomed on as a new client, is all a part of like a flow line, a through line, a pipeline, some sort of line, or we could call it the client buying experience. And what people don't realize is every day that you don't have a well thought out client buying experience, or you have holes, you have moments that you may lose them and they may leak through the cracks at each part of that flow line, that's costing you thousands of dollars a week or a day. It kind of depends on how much your program is, but literally thousands of dollars. So if you have the right system in place to create your client buying experience, you're capturing more of the people who have entered your zone, entered your world, and came looking for help. Like they came looking for help, and we just like bloop, lost them through the leaky bucket. So what we're gonna do in Sales Mastery, and what this guy, his name is Todd Hartley, and he has this revenue acceleration agency. I came back in the room, and he was talking about this, and I was like, this is what Sales Mastery is gonna do. This is what we're gonna do. And I was like, this is amazing. So when you create an effortless buying experience, what you are doing is you're accelerating the yeses that you get in your business. You're accelerating it, and you're capturing more of the yeses that you deserve because they literally came to you. We just kind of dropped them along the way, not on purpose, not willingly. We just didn't know that there's a whole process that supports the sales system and supports the client's buying experience. Isn't that wild? Anyway, so if you're interested in Sales Mastery, come talk to me, because I'm going to launch that soon, and I want you to be a part of it. But what's your client buying experience? That's going to change the game for you guys. That's going to let's talk about innovation, right? Okay, 2 more. Number 9. This was from Dan Martell. This was a huge theme in the entirety of Business Mastery. That was, what is AI, right? How do we leverage AI? And this changed the game for me. His reframe on AI and starting to make the time to play in it, to leverage it, to find the tools that work for you. This is what changed it for me. He said, what you should be asking is not how AI is going to replace anything, right? Anybody, anything, any task. You're asking the wrong question when you say those kinds of things. What you want to do instead is ask, wow, what am I going to do with all the time that I get back because of AI? AI is going to take over the admin type jobs, the things that can take some of us, like if you're not like a photo editor, guess what? There's an AI for that. If it takes you hours to edit a video or a photo, you don't have to do that anymore. He said, start looking at AI as like a leverage to free up your time to do the things you actually love to do. Being with your clients, coaching your clients, and let the AI handle the admin side of it. And he said, if you don't know what tools to use, guess who you could ask? AI! Yes. I'll have to do another one. He gave us these like really cool question prompts. That like what, you know, what can I ask AI for? What tools can I use? How can I leverage this into my business? And different stuff like that. And yes. I was reading the notes. I got tagged. Okay. So maybe I'll do that if you guys are interested in some more AI talk. I was like, this is so good because I've been dabbling in AI. But what I really learned over business mastery was like, in order to innovate and set my business apart, and if you listen up, because I'm telling this to you guys as like a hint, like Christina, I heard you talk about wanting to save people time, teach them how to use some AI stuff that saves them even more time. Boom, girl. Like, how do I get advanced in AI? I'm not going to be like, right now, I don't think I'm going to be building software or anything like that. We're not at that level, but you could if you wanted to, or you, the more you start getting comfortable with AI and start seeing it as a tool to help accelerate you, save you time, be your business partner, be your ask for help person so you can get off the thinking pad and like be free to do the things you love, the more advanced your company is going to be ahead of others. And I don't want to like diss anybody in the room. I'm talking about AI right now, but I kid you not, there was a moment in business mastery. Somebody was on stage teaching everybody how to hold a phone to do a video. And I thought, okay, this is nice. And then what blew my mind was that in a breakout room, a lady said that that helped her out so much. She did not know how to hold a phone. So imagine if now you're the business, you know how to use a phone, you know how to get on video, you know how to do value-added content for your market, and you're leveraging AI. Talk about setting yourself apart. Did you know that there's only like 2% of people that actually create content online? What does that tell you guys? Only 2%. It means we have huge opportunity. I don't know what the statistic is for AI, like the people actually leveraging AI in their business or for their clients to move their clients along faster, but it's probably something really similar. So if we just like break past that fear, eliminate that fear, and know that the reason that we're leveraging AI or the reason that we're learning how to get on video or leading, being a leader first, leaders go first, right? When we're leading in any of those facets, it's going to solidify our presence, our voice, and our businesses in ways that staying the same, staying stagnant, and operating in the way the world used to work will not. Forward thinking. Are you guys going to promise that we're going to be forward thinkers together with me? Okay. Last one. Last one. And by the way, ask AI, what AI tools should I be using? I help people do this thing. What AI tools could really help my clients? What AI tools should I be using for myself? You can go ask that. So now number 10, I kind of talked about this one earlier on. Dean Graziosi, I love Dean Graziosi, came on stage, and his favorite thing to say, and I love it so much, meet your people where they're at. How do we start entering the conversations that people are already having in their head? What is the conversation? If your person is scared, if your person is motivated, if your person's a high performer, if your person's looking to save time, if your person's looking to make money, if your person's looking to become, I actually don't know who this person is. If your person's looking to be whatever they're looking to be, how do we start entering the conversations in their head through our value added marketing, through our messages, through showing up and doing a video and sharing some tips, or holding parties and sharing takeaways. Like, how do we start entering the conversations in their head to connect with them? And the other thing is like, if they're over here, how do we go meet them so that we can take them by the hand and pull them forward with us, right? I want to meet you where you're at so I can talk to you about how we want to get you to where you want to go. They may not be ready. I had this guy, he was talking about some tax thing. And on Monday, it wasn't even Tony Robbins. He was like, and I don't know about, he's like Roth IRAs. He said Roth IRAs and something other big word, something big words. And then I don't know why people don't say yes to that. And I was like, can I offer you some perspective? I don't even know what you just said. I like kind of know what you said, but perhaps that's your problem. So how do we meet them where they're at so that when we say Roth IRA, something big word something, we've gotten them ready to be able to receive that message. All right. Learning requires failure. Master your psychology. The two things you need in business and to stay in business is innovation and marketing. Nobody buys product. They buy emotion and identity. Life is a dance between what we desire and fear the most. What is measured is what gets done. Persistence is key. What is your client buying experience? Let's see. What am I going to do with all the time I get back after leveraging AI? And meet your client where they're at are the top 10 takeaways that I learned at Business Mastery, and I want to gift upon to you. I also want to offer you guys the opportunity, as I was talking about with the client buying experience. I'm going to drop my calendar link. I'm doing free sales audits. These are just consultations to look at. You can tell me all about your buyer experience. Maybe you're like, I don't know if I have one or not. I don't know what a sales process is. I don't know what I'm doing with the leads that come in. What's a lead? Like, if you have any questions or just want me to take a look at what you have installed for your sales process, jump on my calendar, free consultation, sales audit. I'll take a look and we can talk about some different things and strategies you can put into place to start moving that forward in the direction you want to see your business move forward. If we talk about it, the sooner the better, so that you can start growing your business the next 4 months so that you start strong for 2026. Sound good? Thanks for being here with me. You guys stayed late. Feel free if anybody wants to drop a takeaway or like flatter me with like how mind blown you guys are. I mean, please do.
How did you pick
Don't
10?
hold back.
How did you pick 10? Because when I went to Business Mastery, I had 1,000 pages of notes, and I thought about doing a key takeaways, and I couldn't come up with 10. So good on you for that. 2, I loved what you said, meet them where they are at. I was speaking over people's head with my networking ninja. Oh yeah, do this, do this, do this. And then all these introverts are like, oh, I could never do that. I could never.
Yeah, I've done that too.
And then somebody said, what about an introvert? And then I started literally, I used to be an introvert. I used to show up with a nervous belly and not say anything. That was me. And then my husband hit his head and we thought we were going to medically retire him. And all of a sudden, I thought I was going to be the bread maker forever. And I was like, well, I got to grow the F up. And the line was drawn. And I just started showing up and raising my hand. I'll write the proposal. I'll do this. I'll do this. And then he'll say it too. Hitting his head was a blessing to our family. It was for my career, sadly, because it got me out of the scarcity mindset. And then I was like, oh, I have to do it or my kids will die. So that was a key takeaway. And then I actually revamped my website. So I'll be quiet. And I'm going to give Matt your link. He has a system and he struggles with marketing. He's amazing at the creative part. And that's where he's asked me to actually help him market his thing, because I'm really good with talking, but not good
Yeah.
with creating. And he's good with creating, and not good with
You guys are a
talking.
good team.
So that I want him and you to talk.
Oh yeah, share my link. I'd love to talk to him. Yeah. Christina,
One key takeaway about all this you're doing
takeaway.
right now, Emily. I have been to Tony and other people's event, and you're doing it exactly the best way. When we have so much, like Nicole said, I have so many nuggets, I have so many pages. You can't remember everything. So right after an event, write down something that stuck you emotional, something you thought, that is what I want to share with others.
Yeah.
And we can all do that. Take 3 things of what we have learned from Emily today and think about contacting Emily more, but think about just 3 things.
I love it.
That struck me the most. And then use
Yes.
it and repeat and repeat.
Yeah.
The client's journey is one of my key takeaways. So
What was
go
that one?
do it. The client's journey.
The client's journey. They need a
That's
journey.
one of my 3 top ones.
So good. And Damalari put in the chat, pick one thing to implement immediately. That's what'll get you in the movement. Yes. Before you forget, and then you get like stalled out, and then you get tired because you ate lunch and all that stuff. Sarah!
Hi, you do the thing. You do it anyways. You get pumped up and you just go. You're like, I'm going to have a party. You're going to show up or not? I'm doing it. I'm going to be here and you're going to dance whether anybody's there or not. And now I have to run to, I don't know, baseball or golf. But thank you. That was amazing.
You rock, Sarah! I love it. I love it. Mare!
I would say that the retreats I go to from this point forward, I'm going to dump my notes into AI and have it tell me what the top 10 things are.
Ooh,
Done.
I love that. I actually thought about that, but I'm a handwriter, and so the amount of time it would take to type in all my notes, I just didn't have that window, but I'm still planning on using that for that kind of a thing.
You can also speak it and
Mm.
then have the
There we go.
transcript done and pop it into AI. So it's not, you don't have to handwrite it. And actually, if you voiced it if you read your notes into a Zoom or an audio thing, that actually would help the rewiring of your brain hold that information in a stronger way.
Yes, so good. Sophia!
Yes, thank you for having me. I'm excited. So what is it called? As individuals where sales is everywhere, right? Social media everywhere. And then whatever product or service, sometimes our mind, right? It resonates with all these negative voices going, who are you to do this, do that, do that, do that. So one reminder of we are all unique. The quicker we can get out of that mindset of comparing ourselves to this other person making this much amount of money or whatever, just quickly shift and pivot, right? So that's a great reminder that you mentioned that we are all our own unique, our own value, right?
Yeah.
And second one is obviously the Dean quote, meet people where they are. And sometimes even for myself, like, I just got my first paying client, right? I've never coached anyone before.
Yay,
So
Sophia, congratulations.
tomorrow, yeah, I was hecka using Chat GPT and technology. I'm just saying this to say this,
Yeah.
but it's not in my belief now. But just to share with you where I was coming from.
Right.
Technology I'm gonna say was a challenge as far as like, okay, how the heck you use this stuff people are talking about, and then how do you do a freaking a contract for them to sign? I use Chat GPT, and then when I did this workshop with a real estate guru, I heard him say PandaDoc compared to DocuSign was better. So I was like, oh, let me use PandaDoc. I don't know if anybody here agrees or what. So I'm like, let me just use PandaDoc. Give me some insight if you have any background on that. So I did the PandaDoc thing, and I'm like, oh, I did it.
You did it.
And yeah, and I'm like, okay, what the heck am I gonna talk about? Blah 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 blah. And it's like, speak from the heart And, as you know, it was you were there, Emily, my caregiving journey with my mom, right? So that is my, did I freeze or you
No,
froze?
no.
Oh, okay. So that is where I have to reflect and remember how my journey and just speak from there and put myself in a place of where my client is right now. So thank you so much for this. You did a great job and I love your delivery
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
and analogies.
Awesome. You rock. Thanks for being here. Thanks for all of
And
you.
thank you for the
being here.
notes. How do you say your
Absolutely.
name? Demilar. Demilar.
Damilare.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yay. Okay, guys. Well, I don't want to keep you any longer. I want to let you
Hey,
go.
Emily,
Oh, wait.
before you
Yeah.
go, just quick one. So thank you. It was great. I really enjoyed it. It was a nice reminder of all the contents from Tony, because the last business mastery I attended was like 2 years ago. So I loved getting those reminders.
Speed
Awesome.
it up. Yeah.
And to answer your question and also assist as well. So here's my scratch notes. I like to write things on paper too. There we go. I like to write things on paper too. But what I did was then I took a photo with my phone on ChatGPT and I said, can you read this handwriting and provide me the text of what it says? And it says, here's the text. And right away,
Wow.
it gave me all of the text from my handwriting. So again, you can do that, right? So there you go.
Oh my gosh, amazing. Forward movers. Let's go.
Yep,
Does that
same
have to
time,
be
use AI, leverage AI, same time, and now you go use that time to have a cup of tea or do
I know.
more.
I was like, wow, he's so fast.
Right. Does it have to be a paid account? Does anybody know?
I do not know. I have a paid account, so
Okay.
yes. And I would say whether or not it has to be, get a paid account anyway. Like it's $20
Yeah.
a month, and the value you get, you cannot pay an admin assistant $20 a month.
Right. That's true.
Amazing. I'm gonna post a postcard post on my Facebook and tag you guys, anybody who attended, share your takeaways on there. It'll help integrate your learning, number one. Number two, it will help get other people excited. Then I can share more information out there if they need it. So it'll be amazing. And thank you guys so much for hanging out with me this afternoon. And I'm sending you off with the best energy.
And book the call. Go talk to Emily about sales mastery, the buyer's journey, the buyer's experience.
Yep, I've dropped the link one more time. Free sales audit consultation, and we'll look at your process, okay?